Mm. Just take a second to ground, to connect with the earth, to let your feet just feel what's underneath them, to let your hands feel the ground underneath. Every point of your body that is touching the ground, just notice it. Just notice the connection. And just take a second to notice from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, anything in your physical body. So any sensations, any discomfort, anything that does feel good, anything that doesn't feel good. Don't make up any stories about anything. Don't judge anything. Just notice what's going on in your body. Now start back at the top of your head and working your way to the tips of your toes. Notice what's going on in your emotional self. So still you, still your body. We feel it in different places, but kind of that plane where it's all about what am I feeling? What am I experiencing emotionally? And just notice where you feel things, what's going on that level. Again, not doing anything with it, just noticing. And going back to the top of your head and working your way all the way down to the tips of your toes. But we're going to pause at each of the chakras just to notice what might be going on there. So the top of our head is our crown chakra. It's our connection to our higher power. It's our connection to wisdom, our connection to everything. Just notice if there's anything there. And then our third eye, which is our forehead. That's kind of intuition, seeing things, into kind of reading between the lines, knowing truth. And then coming down to our throat. That's the chakra responsible for the right to speak our truth, being able to set and communicate boundaries can come from here. Speaking up and taking care of our own needs can be here. Just notice what's going on there. I'm getting a hit there for me. Sometimes when we sense these things, we just get new awareness about what might be going on. And then coming down to our heart, that chakra is kind of the meeting point, the melting pot between these upper chakras, which are more like thinking and doing, and the lower chakras, which are more feeling and being. And it's kind of where the two intersect and where we kind of step into action or step into action for us, for our highest good. It might be gratitude, it might be relationships, connections. And then coming down to our solar plexus. So it's like just under our rib cage, the upper part of our midsection. And that's the chakra associated with power. So think of empowerment, boundaries, validation, stepping into what's good for us, acting in our own interests. empowerment. All that comes to mind when I think of that chakra. And then down to our pelvis. That is our sacral chakra. It is our pleasure, fun, playfulness, right to have all those things, our right to experience them. And then all the way down to our root, the very bottom of our spinal cord, the bottom of our torso, wherever you want to envision it. That is our right to be, to exist, to have needs, belonging. Just notice if anything's coming up in any of those centers. And if you've noticed something in a particular center, full permission to take your hands and place it over that chakra. Just breathe in it. Just breathe through it. Send some energy into that chakra or chakras. And we're going to do a quick practice for each of the chakras, like just one asana per chakra. And if there's any particular thing that you're noticing that you need more love in, like if there's something in your heart that you just really sense is there, it needs some extra energy or focus, then full permission to go back to that or to do it anytime you need it. So bring your feet in so that your knees are bent. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So right here, our root chakra, first off, is grounding. So just really feel the connection of your feet to the mat. Really feel supported and held. Take a deep breath in that goes all the way down to your toes. And sigh it out. And breathe in another deep, deep breath. And sigh it out. And one more deep, deep breath in. And sigh it out. One thing that comes up for me when I think about the root chakra is hips. And so take your feet, place them just a little bit wider, like the width of the mat, and just allow your knees to fall over to the left, windshield wipering those knees. And inhale back to center. And exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Do this on your own breath for a couple rounds, really turning your attention down into that root chakra area, the very bottom, the very base. Noticing how you slow it down and connect with your breath, how that keeps you focused on that spot. Noticing how this left to right movement kind of crosses over that center, that root. Just take a few more rounds. Wonderful. And then coming back to center. Just take a second to tune into what you feel down there, just noticing your body, noticing if anything shifted or moved or feels different. Just paying attention, tuning in. And coming up to seated. Really slow. We spend a lot of time on our back, so just take it really slow. And so you might be familiar with this. There's a pose called bound angle pose. We're not going to it. I just want to show you. So whenever I'm in bound angle pose, my feet are together and I'm opening up. This feels really vulnerable. If it feels right to you, you can totally do it, but that's why I wanted to bring us up to seated so that we can do something kind of similar. Peddler's pose, doesn't that feel kind of similar? It's like I'm opening up, but I'm doing it in a less vulnerable way. I'm protecting myself and I'm still giving that center space to open up. So grow really tall and then just start to hinge over at the hips as far as you want to go. Whenever you find a spot that feels good, just letting the rest of you fold over. And just breathe into what you're opening up here. Just breathe into that energy center, the sacral chakra. It's that one in your lower pelvis. If you want a color association, the root chakra was red. This one is orange. So maybe you're imagining an orange light, an orange center of energy. And just breathe. Just imagining all of your breaths are opening up the center. Take another breath and then come back up to seated. And again, just noticing, staying with it for a second, noticing if anything feels different, noticing if there's anything else you need around that point. And then stretching out your right leg, keeping your left foot kind of tucked into the right thigh. Take your left hand and kickstand it behind. So the kickstand hand is on the bent side. And I'm going to kickstand back so I feel like I can put some pressure on that hand. And I'm going to open up by bridging up my hips and really shooting some intention towards my rib cage, towards that solar plexus. It's like, yes, I feel it in some of the other ones, but I'm really aiming for opening up that solar plexus and then breathing out as you come back down. Really tuning into, did I need to do anything to open it up? Like I kind of need to twist a little bit to open it up. So we'll just take 2 more on this side. Inhale, opening up, reaching back, opening up that center. And then exhaling, coming down. One last time. Remember, that's your power center. So really using this to feel like bold and powerful. And yet it hits a little bit in sacral chakra playfulness, but I'm using it to open up right there. So just switch sides. Again, kickstanding hand behind. Getting comfortable. And only when you feel ready, just opening up. Again, on the other side 3 times in your own breath. When it feels right, coming down, and again, just taking a second just to feel. Like, what am I noticing? You can go into easy pose if you want to. Just, what am I noticing in that energy center? For anybody watching this later, if that's a difficult, bridging up like that is difficult, just opening up, like kind of, you could even do kind of kickstanding back on your hands as you focus on opening up that place. Beautiful. And then come down onto all fours. Actually, no. Come down all the way down to your mat. Hands are at shoulder height and to our sides. We're just going to push up into cobra. Elbows stay bent, but heart opens up, heart chakra here. Just breathe into it. Just opening up my heart, maybe looking up to the ceiling and coming back down when you feel like you need to come down. And then just pushing up a couple more times, however it feels good to you. But breathing into, I'm opening my heart. Opening up. Come down to the mat after the last one that feels good. And just take a second, because remember, that's the meeting point. That's all the lower chakras. That's where everything there comes to intersect with the upper chakras. Feel your heart's connection to everything. And just notice if there's anything else you need there. And that feels good. Just pushing up to all fours or whatever fits for you. We're gonna come back to a seated position. So however you want to get there is totally fine. Just move slow and gentle. We made it up to throat. So just take a second to develop some awareness in your throat. Think about all that we hold here in our neck. Just get curious about how that relates to throat chakra. And on an exhale, just let your ear drop to your shoulder. Inhale to center. And exhale, drop it to the other shoulder. Inhale to center. Just take a couple more rounds of this. Just let it match your own breath. Last round. Come back to center. And then head down. Drop your chin on an exhale towards your chest, stretching out the back of your neck. Inhale back to center. Exhale, if it feels right in your body and you have no neck issues, just look up to the sky, opening up your throat. And inhale back to center. Or exhale, I'm not sure, I'm off my pattern. So just drop your chin, sync this with your breath however it feels right. Chin goes to chest and then it comes back up. And then it goes to the sky. Let's take a couple rounds of this. And just come back to center when it feels right. Tune your attention into that chakra. Just notice what's going on. I should have been telling you the colors the whole way up. So it's Roy G. Biv. So red at the bottom, orange at sacral, yellow is the center of power with solar plexus. Green is the color of the heart. Blue is the color of the throat. So just notice if there's anything, if you're noticing anything with the colors or with the energy centers or feeling led to do anything. Now we come to our crown chakra. So come back over however you want to into all fours. And widen your knees out as far as you need to, or wide as you need to for child's pose. And then just sink back into a child's pose and come with the intention of bringing your forehead to the floor. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, maybe bring your forearms or your hands in to create a pillow and a space for your forehead, for your third eye to connect. And just focus your awareness and your intention on that spot. And the color of this is violet. No, indigo, sorry. So kind of a blue purple. And just notice anything that comes up as you stay in connection with this. Just breathe some energy into it. Whenever you feel ready, you can come out of that. Just take a second, move really slowly to come down and prepare for Shavasana. Just start to get a picture in your mind's eye as you prepare of the top of your head, your crown. It's that white, violet kind of spectrum of the light. It's at the top of your head. And as you lay here, take up space, your legs, your arms, everything's wide, and you feel that white light coming from the crown of you and wrapping all around you, protecting you in a little cocoon right now. It wraps around your body, it wraps around every bit of you, your hands, your feet, all your energy center. Just take a deep breath in, sigh it out. Just dip into silence here in Shavasana for just a few minutes with this white light wrapping all around you. Starting to bring some awareness to your fingers and your toes. Just keep that sensation of the white light all around you, that protectedness. And just bring some awareness from the top of your head all the way down through your root, sensing all the colors, all the points. And imagine each of those points as like a spinning disc of that light. So if I'm going from the top of my head and down, I'm going from that white violet point, spinning down to my third eye, that indigo point spinning, down to my throat, that blue point spinning, down to that heart, the green spinning, down to my solar plexus, yellow spinning, down the pelvis, sacral chakra, orange spinning, and then my root, red spinning. With all of these energy centers open and spinning their little wheels, just feel connected, feel that stream of energy all the way through your body. It goes from the top down and it goes from the bottom up. It connects to everything that you are and everything that supports you. And only when you feel ready, just roll over onto your favorite side. Just for a moment of rebirth, just gentleness, just being. Whenever it feels good, just pushing slowly up to seated. And taking a moment just to be here. Inhale your arms all the way up. We're just going to move our hands slowly down the center of our body, all the way down to our root. And the badass in me bows with deep gratitude to the badass in you. We are one. Namaste.